All right, hey guys, what if your favorite bar didn't serve alcohol but still had the vibes, the people, and a damn good reason to stay all night? Well, we went inside the Kava House Brand Kava Bar on Highway 19 to explore how this massive, multi-purpose space is really changing lives through kava, community, and a new kind of sober social scene in Pinellas County. My name is Heidi, and I am the co-host of Kava and Kettlebells.
What's up, guys? I am Charles. I'm the other co-host of Kava and Kettlebells. We are a husband and wife duo, and we talk all things Kava, Kratom, Botanicals, fitness. So let's get into it. Hey, what's up, guys? This is Charles here at Kava House Brand. I'm at the Highway 19 location. I'm actually here with the GM, you might know as Kava Daddy, Dave. What's up, man? How's it going?
How are you? Good. I'm great. I'm blessed.
So yeah, man, we just came back from CavaCon Orlando, and we're stopping on our way back home, coming through here in St. Pete, and check out the bar.
Nice. We appreciate you. I'm excited to hear about CavaCon, so I'll be following the podcast to make sure I get all the details.
CavaCon was a blast. It was the first one of its kind, downtown Orlando. It was actually pretty cool. I know it wasn't, not everyone knew about it, but despite that, yesterday there was a pretty massive showing up of spectators, vendors. There were vendors from California. There was people from Texas that came out, New York, everything.
So wow, that's awesome.
It was actually pretty cool seeing quite a bit of people community.
Yeah, that's great.
We were actually surprised by the amount of just general admission that came in. People who really didn't know anything about Kava.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, they just kind of heard about it. So coming in, asking questions, and yeah, these plants that we love, man, is trying to spread the word, and obviously trying to, it's good for the vendors and the brands out there to network and get their message out as well. So with all that being said, let's talk about the Kava House brand a little bit.
Definitely.
We're obviously going to show probably pictures of the bar, but out of all the bars I've been to, probably the biggest one that we've seen. So I imagine you guys probably get a lot of volume here with your customers. So with that being said, as far as kind of customer base here, have the vibe that you guys go for, do you have a pretty strong recurring customer base like regulars, or do you guys see, especially with Kava bars, blowing up right now, is it consistent, new clientele coming in each week?
We're pretty blessed. We get both. We have a really, like most of the Kava community, we have our hardcore regulars, and then as our name is spreading as a new brand, we got a lot more people coming in and checking us out, and what's this place about? It's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. As far as so obviously you guys are a Kava bar.
Yep.
Sea salt Kava. I know too, you all have elixir here that you brew in house.
Oh yeah, everything is brewed in house.
Nice. And then you also have solid Delta 8, Delta 9 products too.
Oh yeah, that's our elixirs on tap. Anything from Not Your Mama's Kool-Aid to a green kratom made with green tea.
Nice.
We call it spiced green tea. It's really, really good.
Yeah, no, so plenty of options. Now, do you find that more customers come here for Kava or for the elixirs?
Honestly, I would say both, really. Nice. We go through so much Kava, elixirs, kratom, because we have it on tap and we have traditional brew.
Okay.
Because some people swear by the tap. Some people, I only drink traditional, no bubbles. So it's nice to have both those options because it keeps everybody happy.
Yeah, for sure, man. And I know for us, so I'm sitting here, I'm drinking, and this tastes just like horchata. It's actually really good. But what was the name of this one again?
That's our churro kava. We
Churro
actually
kava.
froth everything together and then cinnamon, mix in the kava. It is dangerously good.
This legitimately, I could probably, I'm not fucking with you, I could probably chug a gallon of that.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, man, it literally goes down like water. I want to taste kava. Like I said, it tastes like horchata. Typically we do more traditional kava, but today just kind of go with every day, man. So obviously here in New
Yeah, you gotta live. You gotta live.
Man.
I also like my kava to taste like dirty mud water, but it's nice to have that option when you're like, meh, I deserve something a little fancy.
This is
with a little bit of a spice to it.
It's definitely hitting that spot. Well, curious, man. So being the GM of a pretty big Kava bar here, obviously you guys are pretty established here. I guess in the St. Pete, Tampa area. What are some of like the trends that you're seeing? Like, where do you see Kava going? Do you see it getting bigger? Do you see it getting larger? Do you see more Kava bars coming to this area specifically? And just in general, man, what are your kind of thoughts like, on the industry right now as it's growing and expanding?
It's Pinellas County is actually the largest sober community per capita, which
Oh,
is
awesome.
why the Kava community has been so popular here and it's blown up over the last decade because
Gotcha.
there's people, they want that community. They want to sit at a bar and talk to people and listen to music and exchange ideas and drink something that's healthy and
Yeah.
allows them to drive home and not dial an X at the end of the night, you know?
Dude, hands down. I didn't know that this is one of the largest sober communities here, so that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense, man. To have sober spaces, different options, and obviously, kind of like for people in recovery, you don't want to be around that
Yeah.
environment. So to have such a dense environment of kava bars and sober spaces is probably pretty sweet for them. So, do I'm just curious because I know even we just came from KavaCon. There's a lot of talk about like legislations with bars, like New York right now. They're specifically attacking kava bars, like the Kava Sutra up there. There's here and now Lower East Side,
Mm.
and it's not the elixir they're going after; it's actually the kava. We know that Florida last month there was the bill going through
Mm.
that was going to hurt kava bars when it comes to brewing and testing products. Do you see pushback within this community, or for the most part, like ground level is a massive support, and then just our
Oh yeah.
lawmakers making their
Oh yeah,
decisions?
people will definitely stand up and sign petitions and be like, "No, this is our healthy space."
Yeah.
But I've been in the Kava community for over 11 years now, and we've been through this a few times. We know our product is good, it's safe, it's tested. We only
Right.
use high quality stuff, so you know, I don't think anybody will definitely take it lying down. And
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Hopefully, I don't know, with Florida being like the the mecca of like kava
it really
bars,
is, yeah.
like the amount of like small businesses, right, that depend on this industry and stuff. Like, I really hope to see no bad legislation go through, and especially harming the kava bars. So ultimately, at the end of the day, and just like you're saying, man, like there's people here who need these spaces for
Oh yeah, definitely.
social support. So to have that taken away, I think could be a very detrimental thing to the community around it. Um, I guess kind of last thing to tie it up, man. So Kava House Brand, like what makes you guys kind of like like in the sea of the kava bars out here, in St. Pete, Tampa, Florida. What kind of like sets you guys apart? What do you guys do different? And I guess like kind of what do you guys pride yourselves in as far as like the culture that you all specifically built?
We are extremely diverse and welcoming to all, and that's kind of the beauty of the Kava community.
Yeah.
Is it is just this melting pot of people you wouldn't assume would normally hang out together because all different backgrounds, everything. And we pride ourselves on offering that different vibe at each location. If I
Yeah.
want to go read a book quietly in the corner, I go to 54th. If I want to come up and shoot some pool and hang out with friends and talk shit, can I say shit?
Yeah.
We
curse all the time.
Yeah, I come up to 19 because it's that big, huge atmosphere.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that balance and what you need. Some people just want to pop in, get what they need, and go.
Hands down, man. I think that's cool. I think that's good that you guys have, your different vibes, different spots. I guess not final last question, but is there plans on you guys, with the 3 spots you have now, is there plans on expanding more, or are you guys kind of solidifying these locations?
Oh, we definitely want to expand.
Expanding.
It's
Okay,
nice
cool.
because we keep putting back into the bars that we have and making sure we stay up to date and we make the changes our customers want and make it nicer. As you see, there's a ton of boxes over there for all new tables and chairs down the center. So, yeah, we plan on going up pretty big.
I like it.
I have
man.
anything to do with it, anyways.
Well, I think that's cool, man. I think that's badass. Like I said, you guys have a beautiful bar here. Probably one of the bigger ones I've been to. Very, very nice. Seems very well kept. Every kava bar has their vibe. And I think the people make the vibe, and
Oh, 100%.
honestly, people like their bars. But haven't been different ones. This one, I said, man, it feels very clean. I like that. Like feels very, like I said, kind of like, a little more like elevated.
Oh yeah,
Big space.
definitely.
This Kava, yeah, I'll probably get like a gallon of this. For the show, because
I told you it was
really-
dangerous. It's good. It's really good.
But no, dude, I appreciate the time.
Yeah, of course, sir. Thank you. I'm glad
It's good meeting up with you guys. And yeah, Kava House Brand. We're here at the Highway 19 location. Obviously, we're going to do some more stuff around here, kind of showing you guys the bar. But I want to get back to my Kava and enjoy this.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, sir.
yeah, appreciate it, man.
All right, guys, welcome back to Kava and Kettlebells. This is Heidi, and I am here talking to Sonia Bradley. So, Sonia, thank you so much for having us here. Yeah, Sonia is a business owner. She also helps other businesses with their marketing. And I'm just really curious to hear, your story and what got you into botanicals, into, Kava and Kratom.
Yeah, absolutely. I hang out here a lot. I help Kava House with their marketing and strategy of just growing in the community and creating community. And it's been so rewarding watching their community to grow to what they want it to be, which is just a sober atmosphere for professionals to be able to vibe, chill, work from here. You'll probably see me working from here 2 or 3 days a week at the Highway 19 location because I don't live far from here. In this environment, it works for me because I'm part of the community. It was really hard for me to be a part of the community, I'd say, in the beginning because I came from a sober background, and it was a big decision for me to start drinking kratom tea. But it's helped me tremendously with my pain and like side effects that I have from some nervous system diseases and things.
Okay, so you mentioned it was a big decision. When you first heard about it, we all know there's lots of controversy out there, lots of misinformation. What did you hear about it? Why did it feel like a big deal for you coming from a sober background?
Yeah, I'd say the first thing I heard about it was somebody called it like the opioid tea.
Okay, not a comforting
name thing coming from a sober background, right? But so that was the first time I'd ever heard of it. And so then I started researching it, and I had a friend who was drinking it for his pain. And he was reducing off medications that were given to him, steroids, pain medication, muscle relaxers, these things that really hinder us to have mental connection. And as a business owner, we handle lots of things every day. So I was literally feeling like I was slowed down. I was looking for a solution to not be slowed down anymore. So that's what I knew. As long as I stick to my why, you're going to find a solution eventually. So that's how it got me down the rabbit hole, per se. And I came into a bar called Mad Hatter's Tea Bar.
Yeah,
I'm very just inclusive person altogether. I have all kinds of friends. When I walked into that rabbit hole, I was like, what is this? This is bananas. It's also where I met Dave for the first time. So it's cool that we get to help grow another brand today.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so I want to be clear, to our audience that this is not medical advice, and we are not saying this could cure. And we always want you to talk to your doctor, but you're not the only person who I've heard share stories like this, and it really is, in my opinion, a miracle plant. Yeah. Did you how did you ease into it? Did you just kind of go full force and see how it felt, or did you kind of slowly get into it?
I eased into it. I'd say that socially, it was a much funner place, right? So besides the social aspect, the tea itself was like a 2 to 3 times a week in the beginning, and it helped. But in order to get off like some of the heavier medications, like the steroids and the pain pills, I started just doing like a small dose a day, about 16 ounces, since I do it in the liquid form. of the Botanical, but it's available in powder and all kinds of things. We just had a conversation about a woman who'd been taking Kava pills for 40 years for anxiety, right? We are not, no medical terms made. It's just what's worked for me. Currently, I'm on no medications. I recently had to go back on a blood pressure medication, but I pay a lot of attention to my body. This has allowed me to pay attention to my body. I could not pay attention to my body with all of the other medications I was on before.
Man, that is such a huge,
That's all I
such
know.
a crucial thing to say. I love that you said it allowed you to pay attention to your body.
Yeah.
And like, that is huge. And I think that's something that the average person doesn't understand. And same thing with food. Like when I'm talking to my clients about what they're eating, and when I actually ask them to like make a journal and intentionally look at what did I eat and how did I feel after I ate it, their mind is blown that when they're eating these shitty foods that they feel shitty, and because they're just not paying attention.
Right.
And yeah, so was that kind of like, yeah, how was that experience for you to finally be able to just intentionally listen to your body like that?
It's been amazing. 3 years ago, I got some wellness coaching to match up with I didn't really know what I was doing. I knew I was reducing off of things, and that's what I wanted to do. And the mindfulness coaching helped me to make these connections. That was what you just said. It was a huge suggestion of Coach Jess.
Okay.
Let's see what's actually going on in your body. Let's know, take some notes. So at night, I'm really inflamed when I wake up in the morning. What's causing that? I never thought this way previous to 3 years ago. And I wasn't capable of it, honestly. It's been a huge, huge, huge miracle to be able to know I can control my body. I put in the work to do it. I think we all can. I think when people start drinking botanicals, they start doing it for all kinds of reasons. Some people use it to get sober even, so whatever works for you so you can be mindful and pay attention to what's going on in here. That's the goal, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I think that is such a great message for our listeners. I love that you shared that. Yeah. Has it been, so about how long ago was it that you said you discovered it when you went into the Mad Hatter for the first time?
Oh gosh, I think it was 6 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Has it been a pretty awesome, like, how's that journey been, kind of just diving into the community and just, being part of it?
It's been fun. I have some of the best friends. A lot of people compare this to bar life, and it can be that for you. It's going to be whatever you take out of it. Okay.
Yeah.
I have some amazing friends and even business contractors that work with me, designers, website creators, and I met them like here. So not only have I been able to grow my business, I have a client who's in the business because I do enjoy the community and I want to give back to the community. So it's been an amazing ride between the new people that I've met, and I'm just a connections person. That's what I do. I just connect people.
I
started out as an event planner for over 10 years. COVID happened, then I went into the marketing world, and it's still what I do. And I get a lot of young designers and creators, so I'm able to connect them to small businesses. So it works.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest things about the Kava community is the networking.
Yeah.
And networking, kind of like Dave said, with people that you would not expect to, you know, just seeing all sorts of people, networking and meeting each other and making things happen. And it's so cool. Like it's amazing. I love that. Well, Sonia, I really appreciate you, sharing your story with us. And, I think that's really going to help some of our listeners. So is there any other last words that you would like our listeners to know before we head out?
I think just, try something that is going to make you, nope, that's not what I want to say. I know we can edit it.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah. I know. How do you close all of that? It was a lot.
If you could say.
I'm gonna take a sip of my tea on that one.
let me think on this.
I'm just gonna bring it back to Kava House.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah.
That's a good plan. I think what to take out of all of this is that it's not a scary thing. That each brand in your area has a different vibe to offer. Do a little bit of research before going. Make sure that it's kind of in your vibe, and just go have some samples, right? You don't have to go all in. You don't have to drink an entire beverage. But also, what? Why did you want to go? If it's just to be social, if it's to find a new community of people, or because you want to try it because it might help you medically, you have plenty of space to do that. You just have to get up and try it.
I love it. So you heard it from Sonia. Just get out there and try it. Well, Sonia, it was so amazing talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
All right, so what's up? Now we're here with Dave Briggs, who's actually the operations manager of the Kava House brand. And we're going to dive in a little bit into his background. He's been around the community for quite a bit of time. So we're going to kind of go into a little bit of the history, how he got into Kava, and then, get some kind of words from him. So, Dave, appreciate you coming on, man.
No,
just want to hear about kind of your background, and obviously how you got into Kava. Sounds like you've been in the community for quite a while. Just kind of hear about some of the things that you've seen, and also, personally, how you got into Kava and why you currently still drink Kava.
Sure. All right. Early on when the first one in the area opened, Bula, I lived 2 blocks from it. And I of course, had no idea what any of it was. But I've never been a big alcohol person. I might have a beer with a steak or something like that, but I was never one to just go out to bars. And so, I just wanted to check it out. So I went by one day and, at first you don't quite get the vibe at first because everything's new, but everybody would just want to talk to you or not. I mean, it wasn't like they were in your face, but it was like you just have a conversation about anything. Yeah. And that's what blew my mind. I've had talks with people there about politics and religion and science and cars, all sorts of stuff. And it doesn't matter. You just bounce around. People come in, come out of the conversation. It's just nice. And none of that has ever devolved down into an argument or anything like that. Everybody's like, no, cool. I've met, different people that I've met is just crazy. But I really liked the community, the sense of community that it was that you get when you don't go to bars very often. There aren't as many places to kind of sit down and talk. Yeah. Coffee bars are kind of a thing, but I'm not a coffee. I don't drink coffee. I'm not a coffee bar type person. Nothing against it. It's not my vibe. And I just found myself just wanting to go back more, even beyond the drinks at first, because it takes a little bit while to get used to. The Kava is a little dirty mud water kind of. Grass tea kind of tasting, but you do get used to it, and it's actually you get some really good effects from it. I tend to be high strung, so Kava it doesn't. People call it a depressant, which kind of can be, but to me, depressant is a bigger term, like something that's really knocks you out.
Right.
Kava for me, it just kind of takes the edge off a little bit, just a little bit. Yeah, enough. Where it's and even if you get muddy, you get that second. Kind of effect out of it. If you get kind of muddy, it kind of feels like you kind of have a little mild alcohol buzz, but no bad decisions and waking up with a hangover.
Yes.
So
no blacking out.
No, it's no. And if you do, you're like, oh, okay, I'm a little muddy. Okay, I'm just gonna sit here for a few minutes and then you're fine.
Yeah.
So that's always good too. Especially different Kava bars, you don't know the different strengths. It varies between bars. And so from there, Bula was the first. So then Tribe and Hatters opened, and I went by and tried those, and every one of them had their own feel, their own vibe. And then as it expanded, the more bars, I would just go check different ones out as they would open, just being curious. They all had their own kind of vibe, and I was like, that's really cool. You know what I mean? Because with alcohol bars, they all tend to have their own kind of vibe, but, in many cases, a dive bar is a dive bar.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And, something higher end is something higher end. The core might be different, but it's still kind of the same place. Kava bars, it's completely different. But in a good way.
I agree.
You know what I mean? It's like, depending on how your mood, you can go to one, you can go to another, which is one of the reasons why I like ours, because we have the 3 locations that are very different while being very similar. Just the size of this place is just, it's a lot sometimes.
It is. This is honestly, man, one of the biggest bars I've seen.
It is the biggest I've seen.
Space wise.
Yes, it's the biggest one I know of. Yes, there might have been something that's opened since, but yeah, it is the biggest one I know of. And I do like that. It gives us options for doing things. we've had in the past, we've done different events here. And when we first opened, we actually had some comedy shows in here on the stage.
Nice.
We've had a Latin dance team come in and do classes and do some things here for a while.
Man, I'm not a dancer, man, but maybe after a few shows of Kava, I could
we had some people that would just come in and they would, be interested, ask about it, and they'd be like, "Oh, an hour beforehand we do classes and da 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 da," and that was real cool. We've had all sorts of different parties and things here. People have had birthday parties here. We had a bridal shower here. It just gives us the opportunity. Plus, we're always updating things. The game room's getting redone soon, so it'll have console games in it. Just getting a little bit decor change there with the food truck that'll be coming. It'll be permanently here. I think the end of next month, is it? I believe. So it's like, I do like a place that puts money back into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just doesn't let it kind of go. So a few months ago, we got all new couches, some new chairs. So I like that kind of a thing where it stays its vibe, but yet it kind of continues to grow and adjust.
So I'm curious, man. So working at a Kava bar, I know we kind of talked offline before this, a bit. How you drink? You said you tend to drink more Kava than things like kratom, elixirs, and stuff like that. So, do you just stick with Kava, or do you ever use kratom now and then?
Oh, I do, absolutely. Yeah. I'll drink everything that's here, but generally my go-to thing is Kava.
Same.
You know what I mean? It's I like that kind of chills me out a little bit, especially if I come in after going from one thing to another. Especially I can't rephrase that. Busy, when it gets busy, really busy.
Yeah.
I really like the fact that I don't get caught up in things that are going on. It just kind of keeps me exactly.
Yeah. So kratom for you then? Is kratom more for like a
pain?
Okay, it's like pain relief.
That's what I use it for generally. Yeah, I don't need it for energy.
You ever like for you then you probably like a red tea, right?
Yeah.
You ever like whites or greens that you like stimulate for you?
No, I mean I can drink them. I just generally don't. I generally go for the red if my knees hurt or something. I have my knees have been. I raced BMX for years and skateboarded for years in my youth. So yeah, sometimes my knees aren't feeling so good.
But the pains, man.
I mean,
even Kava,
No, Kava does too. Kava absolutely does too. It really, really does. But I don't know. Kava is something I've always kind of just liked more. I think what it is that I can drink it while I'm here. I get an effect out of it, but it's not. Just say this. Kratom, I don't know. I'm not sure how to really put that. I have nothing against it. It's just not my favorite. It's just not my favorite. Weirdly, I like the flavor of Kava, which is just insane. But
I could no, Dave, you're spot on, man. Because I'm with you. I use kratom, but for me, it's very specific. I like it for like an entourage effect with caffeine. So before I work out, I'll do just a little bit of kratom, but that's the only time. I know a lot of people, and people go to Kava bars, they'll have kratom as an alcohol replacement or to relax. But for me, I see Kava more for that, and I go to Kava a lot more. So 90% for me is Kava. Then that 10%, I do kratom, and it's very specific. It's for pre-workout, or sometimes if I had injuries or I'm really sore for something, or even not medical advice, but past surgery I've had, come out instead of using painkillers, I use kratom for that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I didn't have to use the pharmaceutical painkiller. Instead, I was able to use kratom for that.
Yeah.
I'm with you, man. The fact that I think everyone's got their own thing. Some people they're primary kratom drinkers, but for me, the same way, man. I've always been more of a Kava guy. Again, I like kratom for specific use.
Absolutely.
It kind of sounds like the same deal, man. Where it's it's not my go-to. Kava's my go-to.
Yep. Yeah.
For sure.
It's just And like I said, I do drink kratom and I do elixirs and stuff pretty often. But yeah, it's just my go-to drink. It's just something I've just wasn't a choice. It was. I used to try. Honestly, actually, in the beginning, I drink both equally almost. If I went to the bar, I'd get my shell and 16 ounce or kratom, and I would drink them both. And then just over time, I just a little bit less of the kratom. But no, like I said, I still drink it. I have nothing against it. It's just a preference thing, is all.
So do you find that I guess like even like your so you start going to kava bars, and obviously now you're the operations manager of a kava bar here. So you're surrounded by the community, but even like outside the community, like your like friends, like family and stuff, like have you like brought them to kava?
Oh yeah,
Kinda
absolutely.
like,
my daughter drinks kava. She actually worked at our 54th location for a little while.
Oh, nice. Man.
My girlfriend drinks kratom and kava equally, but she drinks a little more kratom. She uses white. She works from home.
Okay.
So she uses white during the day instead of coffee.
Enhancer kind of.
Yeah. So she doesn't, she's not slamming it back, but she'll have one there, and she'll, a 24 will last her almost all day.
Right.
But she just sips on it throughout the day, and it gives her the energy that she needs, without jitters about all this, all this kind of stuff.
Coffee replacement, man, for a lot of people. Yeah.
Absolutely. So she, and it was, I'll be honest, when I was going in the beginning, I was going to Bula when it was one of the few that were open. I wanted her to try it, and she's like, no, I don't like this at all. I'm like, you drink black coffee. How do you, But
I was saying, if I do have coffee, man, I just do black coffee. Nothing.
Oh no, if I drink coffee, it's got to be 1 part coffee, 1 part cream, 1 part sugar. But when I started working at 54th initially, she would come up, and as I was working behind the bar more, I got to find some certain things like. Good tip. If you want to drink kava and you don't like it the way it just normally plain kava, it's just a little bit too much for you. One thing that almost all locations have that will really make it taste better is vanilla monin. Just put vanilla monin in kava, and it still has a taste to it, but it makes it so much more milder.
A little bit more.
Oh yes. And once I figured that out, I gave her some, and now she likes it. And I found her a mix of monin flavors, so now she drinks the white.
I think that's one of the biggest like barriers to entry I've seen with kava specifically. Kratom, I feel like people can tolerate like the tea, even just like a dirt tea a little bit more. But kava, like I have friends still who like have such like an aversion, and part of me is I'm like, just like stop being like a pussy, just fucking drink it. You know what I'm saying? But like.
Like who liked coffee the first time they drank it?
Yeah. That's like such a good barrier to entry, is like getting people to get past the taste. So like I do understand. I think that's what kava bars do well. Like that drink I just had, man, that's like free horchata, dude. Like I could literally drink a gallon of that stuff, man. I probably have more. But like I do think that's the good thing about kava bars, is like for someone who's never had the plants versus going on to Amazon, buying powder straight themselves, they'd be at home like, oh, this tastes like shit. Go to the kava bar, at least it can kind of ease you into it. Then you can start having nutritional shells.
Sure, absolutely.
And then that because you start feeling effects, you're like, all right, this feels good, so I want to drink it.
Yep.
Then you can get past that taste.
Absolutely.
So
no, that's absolutely true. It's an acquired taste. Kava is an acquired taste.
Yes,
for sure. But yeah, I mean, getting finding the right, flavor profile for somebody to get really where they really, really like it. The nice thing is that they lend themselves to it really well.
Right.
Kava is really good. Almost anything that goes good in coffee goes good in kava.
Yeah, it's actually true, man.
It really is. I mean, if you like putting it in coffee, put it in the kava, and you'll like it.
Just now that I think about that more, like, yeah, that's like pretty valid.
Absolutely.
Creamers, all that kind of. Actually, you see a lot of the kava bars, man. They have all the creamers.
Yep.
Same as coffee.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. So I guess to kind of like tie it all up, dude. Like, if you had to tell just like someone on the street who's never heard of kava, maybe besides like what that restaurant, that CAVA place.
Oh,
everyone you say kava, everyone's like, oh, the restaurant. Yeah.
It's
like no. But if you had to tell someone about kava, like how would you pull them in to the bar? How would you bring them to the cut?
Well,
Kava House?
Generally, let me see here. If I was trying to get somebody to come here, if I didn't know them or what have you, I would kind of basically just kind of talk to them a little bit, see where they're coming from, if they have pain, this kind of stuff, if they, anything I could kind of on there, and then I would basically tell them the benefits for whatever that is, it's a white kratom, red kratom, or a kava. If you're just trying to get somebody in, like just give it a try in general. basically it's something you get an effect from. Okay, depending on what it is, what that effect might be, but it's mild.
Right.
It's this isn't the kind of stuff where you know that you know you get people sometimes try like an edible or something like that, and they're like, oh my god, no, it isn't like that. It's
You're on a different planet.
Correct.
Yeah.
And even if you do get like if you are new to it, you try it a little bit, you just stop for a second, you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
This isn't
It's not gonna mess with you the next day either.
correct.
Yeah.
It doesn't make you do bad decisions. It doesn't do any of these kinds of things. And so I think I think that's what it would be. Is that I think people when they try new stuff that has some sort of an effect, they tend to be gun shy of it.
Right.
Or
Right.
some people tend to run towards it. Some people tend to be gun shy of it.
That's true.
But if you're gun shy of it, this is one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could try a little bit of it. Just try, a little bit and see if it affects you. Not everybody's going to like it,
Right.
and that's fine. But what it can do for you, like I said, with my knees, I mean, I can jump over the bar a few times a day or whatever, but there's some mornings,
Not happening.
no, and then I will go get a red, and then I
Yeah.
can actually do my stuff for the day. Is it a magic bullet gets rid of all your pain? No, it's not. Unless it's something minor, but it that I've noticed in myself anyway, that it'll take kind of the edge off.
I think it's a good point, man. Like, yeah, it might not cure, right, but it can enhance your quality of life.
Right.
Right.
And that's how, and different people described it, different ones from, kind of different ways. It's in that some people might get a little bit more pain relief out of it, than somebody else might. It all comes down to your physiology. I've met people that white puts them to sleep.
It's actually funny you say that, man, because I, for myself, like white, that's pre-workout, that's energy. Green is more of like, all right, kind of like a mood boost. That for me, red's definitely, I really just get the pain relief from it. I don't get any like psychoactive. It's just very much a body. But yeah, I've talked to some people, and I'm like, hey, go try white pre-workout, and they're like, oh, I tried that, and I got like so sedated.
Yep.
Even on a low dose.
You also have with kratom, there is an overriding thing with kratom. All kratom strains in small amounts will give you energy, and in large amounts will basically kind of is excited about antidepressant. Even white, if you do a boatload of white, it will eventually kind of, you'll get energy, then it'll kind of taper you off a little bit. But it's what it is the age of the leaf. When I explain it to customers, I like a tea leaf.
Right.
You have white tea, green tea, black tea. It's the age of the leaf. Has different amounts of antioxidants and different things in them. Kratom is the same way. Younger leaf. I don't remember exactly what order it goes in. I think it's red, green, white. It could be. I don't remember. But all it is that the plant has different amounts of those chemicals in it at its different ages, and that's why you get your slightly different effect.
Right.
But they're not completely different from each other. Exactly. It's all the same plant.
Same alkaloids, all the same.
Absolutely. So that's one of the kind of things I like about it too. This is just a leaf.
I know you guys.
That's just a root.
Exactly.
And we try and make them clean as possible. Like that's one of our big things is when we use crushed leaf, so we don't have a lot of grit in our kratom.
Yeah.
And we try and make it as clean as we can. In other words, we don't put a lot of other stuff in it.
No,
we want you to be able to have that option. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
also,
you want to add it.
Also, it helps with people who have allergies.
I'm curious.
I know some people that are allergic to cinnamon. Cinnamon goes in a lot of different places.
Yeah,
I'm not saying what we put in ours, but we try and keep it that way so anybody can drink it and that you can make it your own, if you will.
You guys, so I know you all do your crushed leaf in-house tea, and I tried it. It's actually very, very smooth.
Thank you.
I did just the traditional, not the carbonate or anything like that. Do you guys do extracts here?
Yes.
In addition to, and I guess too, like, what's your kind of like opinion on? I think some people have like opinions on extracts. I think there's a good use case for them, depending on who you are. I guess like, what's your personal kind of opinion with like kratom extracts?
Okay, okay, cool. We have extracts like a pump that we can put in to add to a drink to make it a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
We also have an extra strength version that we just brew a little bit stronger. That I'm okay with because it's done in moderation. Some of these super strong concentrates that are out, I'm a little, with because that's where you can potentially start having some issues. And I'm not saying it's about the kratom itself, but anything.
Yeah.
Anything you concentrate down, now you have more risk with it. I'm not saying there are risks. I'm not a doctor. I don't know any of this stuff, but that's my only thing, and it's a personal opinion. But that's my kind of thing about it. I know there's lots of people that do it daily and have no issues. So that's But
I'm with you though. I don't like seeing people, like going to the gas station and getting wild, crazy dosage shots and being like, "Oh, it's I'm doing this every single day, multiple times a day."
Yep.
And when I try to stop, it's like versus, "Hey, why don't you just go have like AT and start with that and
Absolutely.
keep it in moderation, right?"
Absolutely.
And if you do use extract, again, moderation, very targeted use, not something to be consumed in crazy amounts. And I think that's what gives people the right kratom experience. And I always tell people, like, if you've never tried kratom, like, go to a kava bar where they do crushed leaf and just have like a 16-ounce tea and drink it slowly and see how you feel.
Absolutely.
Before going to freaking the smoke shop, man, and buying the
absolutely something that goes straight from zero to a concentrate. It may not be as a fun time for them. I mean, but that's again with anything. I'm not particularly picking out kratom in this thing. Is it's just with anything that I mean, sugar is fine in small quantities. If you were to concentrate that stuff down into something, it would be very bad for you.
Any
and you can die from anything in excess. Water, too much water, you can die. Too much oxygen, you can die. All the things we need for life, you too much. So that's kind of that's kind of my thing. It's just personal opinion, but
I've had people who are extremely, let's just say unhealthy, right? And they slam back a lot of like fast food, processed foods, and then they will point the finger on someone who's using 2 grams of kratom per day and is living a healthy, active lifestyle and is using it for specific usages
responsibly.
So it's like, of all of the other stuff out there, let's not point the finger at like a plant that's very beneficial to a lot of people.
Absolutely.
When used responsibly.
Absolutely.
So
very, very true. I've met many people that all age groups, all backgrounds, that have been like, this stuff is it's for them, they would call it amazing because it helped them with something. And I think anything out there that can help somebody with something, whether it be your pain or whatever it is for them, without having a bunch of negative effects is a net positive.
I agree, man.
I mean, you know what I mean?
I agree. I agree.
There's plenty of things out there that we consume every day that have really, that aren't good for us.
Oh yeah, people don't think twice, man. We even just like alcohol.
Yeah.
Yet that's so freaking widespread.
Oh, absolutely.
And people will look at things like kratom, right, and be like, oh, like, not to get crazy into it, but like, there's some perception of kratom deaths and stuff like that, and I think there's a lot more that can go into that, the backstories behind it.
Absolutely.
But then you pull up the CDC, you look at alcohol, all the instances that come from that, but no one bats an eye if you go into Walmart and buy a 12-pack of beer.
Correct. Absolutely. And that will, enough alcohol will mess anybody up. You know what I mean? I mean, from driving to this, to that, to whatever. It's just, I agree completely.
So, but no, man, good conversation, dude. I think what you guys are doing here is very cool, man.
Thank you.
I said, this bar is awesome. It's a very cool spot.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, guys, if you are in the St. Pete area, Kava House Brand, Highway 19, this location, then obviously there's 2 other locations, but this is the big spot.
Yes.
This is where you're at. Very cool area, man. Like what you guys are doing. Very cool vibe. Kava's great. The kratom you guys have was great as well too.
Thank
man.
you.
So
we
try. You guys are doing it right, man.
Thank you very much.
So appreciate it.
Sure, no problem.
Welcome to Kava and Kettlebells, where we talk about kava, fitness, and life. Let's get kava-fied.